What's going on, everyone? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is Joe from BMT coming at you again. I'm here today because I was asked a question going over a subscriber's request. And as I already told y'all, if y'all send me a request, if you ask me some questions, I will do my best to get the information. Or better yet, if I know it, I will get the people who do know it. But this is why BMT is here, to work for you. And so I don't want to hold off on doing this because I feel like this is much needed content that I want to go over. Good afternoon, brother. So I already promised subscriber I'm going to go over this. So let's get to it. So the thing about it that we want to talk about is pretty much for a lot of people is going about getting your EIN, your LLC, and also make sure that you have your shorty bump. Now, I've already broke that down to y'all. I got to make sure I go get paperwork. Make sure I don't want to get that too personal. Okay. First things first, we have our we have our paperwork. Okay, make sure I cover that up. Not get too sensitive. So the first things first, we have our paperwork, right? Okay. This is a business property tax form. You normally have to go to the Department of Revenue of the state of South Carolina. Literally, now to go about getting this type of paperwork, you can literally file with the state, your state commerce, which we can literally go online and do that. Everybody should, if you're in a certain state, you should know to go to your certain state and literally go do that. You should literally already know to go to your state, file for your EIN and LLC. It does not cost that much money. It is $50. Some states probably $100. It depends. But for the most part, it does not cost a lot of money. It literally lasts you up to 10 years getting that paperwork. So even if you don't choose to use it, you will have it. You can go file with the state. Now, in doing that, let's say you want to go into wholesale. Now, wholesale is something that we all know is when you're going into commerce of selling vehicles or certain type of stock. I'm breaking it down into the simplest form for a lot of y'all. Some people are gonna be, oh no, 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 shut up. Then you teach your class, okay? But I'm telling you what I know because I literally have to do that, and I'm doing that now. Like right now, we're dealing with this when it comes to moving and shipping cars, as well as different other stuff for factories. That's a portion of our business that we're doing now, and literally it is paperwork because certain states do not allow you to. You have to go get a specific type of license plate. Yeah, your boy, he does all that. Yeah, yeah. You got to go get a certain type of license plate. This is just a temporary one, okay? But you got to go get a certain type of license plate, okay? Um, literally, you got to go by the state and register the vehicle. Now, trying to go to these auction places, you can't sit there unless you have certain type of paperwork done. Now, certain states differentiate, but I can tell you right now, in the state of South Carolina, as well as other states that I have been checking with, you literally have to go get a business certificate, not just an LLC, not just an EIN. You also need a business certificate saying that you are certified by the state to sell wholesale. And they want to ask the growth they want to ask where you got it, where you're going to be putting them, what you're going to be doing with them, all that stuff. Now, in saying that, what happens now, I don't want to mess up any paperwork and I don't feel like hearing some people's mouths. So next will come, and literally you can go to the DMV to go get this. It is called literally a new. We all can see this. This is called a new dealer wholesale checklist. I told y'all. I told y'all. BMT. I literally will go get y'all the paper. Go get the paperwork. With this paperwork, and now Georgia should have one. Different states in the South will have this. You literally can go by the DMV and go request this form because the DMV deals with this. Why? Because you are shipping and moving different types of merchandise. Well, it's considered technical merchandise. Whether it be salvage, whether it be anything, you have to go by the DMV or the State Department office. Normally, your state county office or the DMV, but most of the time you can go by your DMV. The form is free. It literally is a checklist on telling you building meets requirements, which they will go over their requirements. Let me do this for y'all. Okay. 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 So the first one right here is going to say building meets requirements. I know it's not in the best. Okay, I have to fix that camera. So it's going to say building meets requirements, right? So what they're going to actually do with the wholesale new dealer, this is your checklist of things you need to have. You see where it says right there, DMV agent, application number, all this stuff you're going to have to do. So it's going to actually does your building, if you have a building, does it meet requirements? Is it a space where you can house this type of merchandise or this type of stuff? They want to also know about the applicant. Does it accessible to the public? The retail dealers established place a business may not be resident or temporary stand. Okay. The next thing is says sign meets requirements. The dealer, that would be number 2. The dealer's place of business must display a permanent affixated sign to clarify, identify a licensed business. In other words, as if you are dealing a brick and mortar type of place. Now, some people, this is why a lot of people say, oh, everybody's going to the internet. Why? Because they try to skip over and do all of this. Me, I'm the type of brick and mortar type of guy. I like having things I can tangibly touch that I can literally pass on to other people. Now, reasonable area to display vehicles. Some people put their vehicles in a yard. Some people go buy a building for rent and literally put it right there. It depends on how you want to do it. Okay. The next will be vehicles at licensed location. This is something that is very telling that a lot of people, when they say, hey, why is the cop messing with me right here? This is number 4 for a lot of places in the South. You have to have a license in certain areas if they are populated, like let's say the town area, within town limits. If you're doing that, which unless you want to sell out there in the country, um, you literally. No, I want to put it make it more sharper. Okay, there we go. So it said literally they're going to ask you vehicle at a licensed location. So it has to be a location that if the police were to come and say, do you have a license to be here? They can shut you down. They can haul you off because you're not licensed to be there. You're selling without permission of the state. You gotta pass certain type of credentials. Next will come records keeping requirement. You have to be accountable for what you're selling. In case something does happen, every dealer is required to keep complete records of each transaction in a motor vehicle is sold or transferred. Okay? These records must be maintained. Now, a lot of people, if you were like, these records must be maintained. You got to keep track of your records, your stuff. Everything you do, you need to have. I always encourage people to have copies of things because that is very telling. Now, the what's going on? What's going on, LeSean? I want you brothers to learn these things because these things are what's going to help you succeed. I don't brag about what I'm doing, but I definitely know what I'm doing because I had to learn the hard way. I had to take my time. And I'm still learning stuff. I'm still becoming proficient. I'm still building. But I don't floss it. I just go about doing it. Like a lot of people get on here and do X, Y, and Z, and they don't tell you what you properly need to do. So then you're spending money and you're wasting time and effort when you literally can learn the proper way and literally move from there. So you need to keep the records. You need, in addition, incoming documents to save you from the IRS. The department requires that these records be available for inspection because you got to understand when you're moving and you're doing wholesale. And I'm not sure. Shout out to Ramel. I'm not sure if they tell y'all this when you're doing these kind of things. Erica Williams and all of them can tell you. Depending on how they're moving. The DMV can inspect you at any time. Any type of licensed official of the state, they can inspect you. Fire department believes that the way you have those vehicles all set up with gas cans out there and all kinds of stuff, they can shut you down. If you're leaking oil all over the street or into like the sewer and the grass house, they can shut you down. You gotta properly cover yourself with these things. They literally go over having your information on standby and ready for just in case somebody says, hey, we need to find out where you're getting these things, or literally the last few purchases, there's something iffy about that, bro. You need to bring them back. The IRS will send you the IRS, they will send you your paperwork saying that if you are making any money, and this is what people mess up at. When people are making money, sometimes they forget to actually notify the IRS that they're making money. I know. A lot of people don't want to do that. But I'm trying to let you know that this is where you get nipped and this is where you get overturned because you're not looking at these proper precautions. You gotta when you have your place, you have to display your dealer's license. And the only way you can get your dealer's license is you have to go file. And also, we're going to go into showing y'all this. So this is one of the things that I'm telling you that's going to be a nip in the bud that a lot of people don't. They kind of overlook. It's not something that's very well known, but it's something that you have to have. What that is called is a surety bond. Make sure some of y'all write that down. You need to go get a surety bond. A surety bond. You never know. You need to go get a surety bond because what they do is a surety bond is defined as a three-party agreement that legally binds together a principal who needs the bond. An obligee is who requires the bond in a surety company that sells the bond. If the principal fails to perform in this manner, the bond will cover resulting damage. So y'all saying, what does that mean? Y'all know that when you're transporting or hauling vehicles, right? If you have a surety bond, the surety bond is the insurance clause to say that, hey, I'm here. I am covering this type of guy. In other words, you're paying for insurance for your business. You literally are trying to cover them from certain types of entities and people. Now, for whatever that may be, this is why it's like, for a lot of drivers, they got to make sure that they check their hit. They make sure that they have everything already down packed and that everything's going to go smooth in case something does happen, which is some stuff are unpreventable. But in the same sense, here we are. A surety bond can sometimes cost you up to $100 to $200, depending on what you do and how you react with people. And sometimes that kind of things can be, bothersome. Because sometimes you might be frustrated and you might mess up something, and they're up for blood and trying to sue you. The next thing y'all need to understand, other than just having a surety bond, is you're gonna have to be patient with turning these kind of information in. Surety bonds can take some time, but they are worth it. That you need it. I think I paid for one like $150. Had two beautiful children, beautiful life, and a little bit busting behind being busy. And understand this, that with the surety bond, it covers me whenever I'm hauling certain stuff, or I don't have to worry about that because I didn't do this plot, because I didn't maneuver this type of way, I'm not covered. The surety bond takes care of that. They cover you for all of that. They make sure that you're squared away. So, these are the kind of things that you need. You need surety bond insurance. You need to make sure that you fill out your paperwork. You need to make sure that you file your EIN as well as your business ID. File that stuff, man. If you don't feel certain about it, man, tell somebody that you do know to go in with you. We gotta understand, man, that at this point in day and age, that we need more innovative people. I don't want to be the only one. I know there's other people out there who is going in there and being, caring and showing some type of humanity. But we need to understand that for us to actually make it and actually get up there in life, we have to handle these situations. And you gotta understand that when you're not properly equipping yourself with the tools that you need, you're more so worried about X, Y, and Z. You're setting yourself back because you need to actually be focused on, recreating your images in your brand. The surety bond will do that. Getting a proper consultant for whenever you are getting a proper consultant for whenever you're about your spending costs. That's another big issue that we need to look into. And because these kind of things do happen, you gotta really be about your business. Yeah. Well, I don't know what else I can tell y'all. I try to break it down and give it to y'all a philosophical thing about what surety bonds do, how they act as insurance to cover you and your family. I also broke down about why you need to go get an EIN and a LLC. Literally how these things can help you out. These things are what you need, what you need to have, what you gotta put together. Take your time, go by the DMV, ask these questions. What you don't do now, what you don't do now, it does come back to bite you. I promise you that. I've seen guys who had full-on businesses say, "Hey, Johnson, what's taking so long, man? Get your stuff together." I'm like, "Yep, yep, yep." Suddenly, they're getting picked up in an Uber. Suddenly, they're getting dropped off, and suddenly they got a man. Y'all gotta understand, man. These kind of games that we play, they set us back, man. We could literally have been rebuilding our own stuff, but we choose to be a cuck towards a lot of these narratives. So, I'm Joe from BMT. Get your money, sell wholesale, and live the best of your life. Peace.